Live,
Huh?
live.
You said you're live?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Oh, hello there, Danielle. How are you? Christina, hello there. How are you, Christina? Sadie, how are you? God bless you. Danielle, my moderator. So, Danielle, we got 1 hour and 15 minutes. Hello there, Beto. Lisa, God bless you. Thank you for being with me. I'm excited about you on tonight. We have a serious topic that we want to discuss on tonight, and that is brain fog. And it's really memory lapse. Hello there. How are you? Love and peace. How are you, Lisa? Hello there. How are you? Glad to have you on board. So, we are having a discussion of this. I also want to go on Clubhouse. Let's go on Clubhouse and do this also on Clubhouse. Uh, Hello there. Cluster B Free. Thank you for joining us on tonight, all the way from Hawaii. God bless you. Thank you so much. And then we have Lisa. She said, "You are wonderful and have taught me so much." Thank you. You are so welcome, Lisa. It is a privilege and an honor every time God uses me and it blesses you. I am more elated than you are, really. And I thank God that it blesses you. Hello there, Born Dead 250. All right, hey Helen. Thank you for your continued work. God bless you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I'm excited about what God is doing. And I really appreciate the opportunity of being here. You are so important, especially in the channels that you're going through and the progression that you're going through. But many of you have encountered some things with the narcissist, and especially if you've been with the narcissist a year. If you've been with the narcissist a year, you may find that it's traumatic on your mind. And if you are away from the narcissist, it's even harder because you're going through recovery. And some people don't know that once you're with the narcissist, when you leave and you start your recovery, you may be surprised at the assault and the onslaught that starts to unload when you leave the narcissist and you start finding out all of the damage that is done. Sometime when you're in the midst of it, you don't see all the damage, but once you leave, you start noticing the brain fog is still there. And some of you may have forgetfulness, and it's like your mind is tired, your mind is exhausted, and you need another stimulus. And what you may find that when you leave the narcissist, or when the narcissist has discarded you, that your mind is going through this traumatic episode of ruminating about the narcissist, and you're thinking about him, you're dreaming about him, and some people, and to the point where they see a silhouette of the narcissist, or they can smell the narcissist, they can feel them, they're still there, and they are terrorized by the presence of the narcissist, even though the narcissist is no longer there. Hello there, Grandmom JJ. How are you? Thank you for joining us on tonight. Let's talk about this. Those of you who are that have experienced some of this, let's help those who may be newly discarded, maybe those who are still with the narcissist and don't understand what is happening. And some of them have just been introduced to some of the videos where now they're starting to get answers. And when you start to get answered, it can be pretty scary because you don't know what to do because your heart is involved. You love the narcissist, you're devoted to the narcissist, but you now have a reality check because you realize that the relationship is disillusioned, and it's hard to believe that the narcissist cannot love you. And you have started a family regiment with the narcissist, but the narcissist doesn't love. They are so self-absorbed, and they only care about themselves. Let's talk about this. Christina said, she said, mine called my on block again today. Oh, you had to block him. Just hit my 1 year. No contact. She said, and it's like, leave me alone. It's like, go home, Roger. She said, narcs are annoying. And see, that's why I'm telling people, and it's been a year. Narcissists usually do not do a final discard to supply that is meaningful to them. If you have given them fuel, they will be back. They may be 2 years, and I told you one incident that he was 10 years, no phone call, no internet interaction, no letter, nothing. The narcissist shows up to her, and she done started a whole lifestyle over again, and the narcissist felt like, you still, that belonged to me. The family belonged to me. Everything she has belonged to me. So he discarded the husband, and that was quite a mess. We have Aaron. Hello, Aaron. He said, I'm happy to see you again, Helen. He said, I heard that the narcissist doesn't love. She said, they only mimic love. It's hard to fathom that someone can mimic that well. Oh, they are the awesome. They are the most skilled personators. How can you be in a relationship for 20 years, 30 years, and there is a recognizable truth, but until you are aware of that truth and you are aware of the narcissist's behavior, you just say that there's something that's missing, or they're off, or they're selfish, or they're toxic, which is all true. But narcissist that is a true narcissist will always be what they are. They're unchangeable because they don't see change in them. They see change in you. And America is even demonstrates some of this. And so when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, like Christina was saying, this narcissist is constantly bothering her, even though she has been away from the narcissist, no contact for a year. They're just showing up, trying to hoover again, come back to the old supply. And so some narcissists, when they run out of supply, or they keep going around and that the supply is not prepared, it takes a lot of energy for the narcissist to go from supply to supply. We see them just cheating, but that's energy. And the narcissist is utilizing a tremendous amount of energy. And that's why when the narcissist is with a new supply, they discard a supply because it takes so much work to hook that new supply and to keep them hidden in the dark about who they are. Mama said, Mama JJ said, do not believe in love, don't feel love, therefore cannot love anyone. Absolutely. Absolutely. This message is help for review. I don't even know why this message would be help for review. So, whose message was that, Danielle? So, here, Christina said, yes, I escaped him. He never thought I would find his other relationships. She said, maybe I caused a narcissistic injury by moving myself from his life. So I am one who got away, and he's mad, maybe. Of course. Of course, narcissists hate to lose. How can perfection lose? How can excellence lose? So when the narcissists lose, the narcissists feel that there is a retaliatory system that needs to go into place because the supply is getting out of order, and the narcissist is a total controller. That's why the mind goes under such duress and such stress. And like we were saying, those of you who are on tonight, I did a video early this morning and I dealt with brain fog and the damage of the brain that can be caused by narcissistic interaction. And this has been proven that there can be brain damage. Be it with any, just think about it. When you're with someone that is narcissistic and they're selfish and they are all engaged in themselves and they don't love anyone but themselves and everything is synergistic around them, how can there be any peace? And how can the person with them have any peace when everything is about them? And when they don't have their way, it's like grown temper tantrums that is being dispersed, and you are on edge. You don't know whether to run, you don't know whether to be still, you don't know whether to fear, you don't know whether to go, because nothing that you do for them please them. And there comes a place where nothing you're going to do for the narcissist please them. Whatever you did before, it doesn't count. Whatever they enjoyed before, it doesn't count. And now you are being totally harassed through devaluation and through gaslighting. And gaslighting is meant for you to lose your mind. You have no trustworthy in anything that was said. You are not rooted. You're always in a transitional stage. You never know what it's going to be. And so your whole system is filled with cortisol. Cortisol is they alert your system, and it gets in your system and it get out of your system. It's there to warn you, to alert you, one of the things that it's there to do. But when it's constantly in your system, it can affect you with fibromyalgia. It can affect your liver, your kidneys. It can affect every part of your body. And it can be very devastating when you have cortisol constantly in your body. Janet Floyd said, I experienced the memory lapse. She said, ruminating, brain fog, and energy drain. She said, God led me around like a fish on a hook. Wow. She said, and with new healthy people, church journey. She said, and my Jesus tour. I was fearful, broken, but she's still writing. Yeah. See, and that's what happened. And what happened is when you go under such how can I say, brain stress, and the stress goes to the overload zone. Your body tells you to back off. Your body tells you to leave it. And some people actually disassociate, and they totally attach themselves from reality so they can handle the reality that is happening in their life. They just clock out mentally. And when you can't do that, and your body is constantly going under stress, and your mind is being harassed, and you are being devalued, you are being not even considered, and you are constantly hungering for attention, for somebody to notice you that should notice you. A husband and wife should notice each other, spend time with each other, and you don't know even the relationship you have after 10 years. You don't even know the value of yourself, the value of the relationship. You don't even know how secure your relationship is after 10 years. You suspect cheating, but you never found him cheating, or you did find him cheating, but he gaslight you so until you thought something was wrong with you. You start doubting what you saw. You saw it with your eyes. You heard it with your ears. You were there, present tense, first person. But the gaslighting made you doubt so much, and boom, your brain go into overload, and the hippocampus begin to shrink. And when the hippocampus begin to shrink, where your long-term and short-term memory, guess what? You start experiencing fog. You start experiencing a soul drain, mental drain. You start experiencing memory lapse. You start going in and out of reality because you're challenging yourself as to what is real and what is not real because of the gaslighting. And it causes such confusion that you are in a disarray in reality. You're trying to check in to see what is real, or am I being too jealous? Am I being too suspicious? Am I choking him or smothering her? Am I not giving her the room she needs? What is wrong with me? And why can't I love them? Maybe I should back off. Maybe I should give them more freedom. Maybe I'm too controlling. Then you start blaming yourself for everything that the narcissist is doing to you. You start thinking you are doing to the narcissist, and the narcissist has convinced you that it's your fault. The narcissist has convinced you that you are acting narcissistic, and that's why sometimes the supply even challenge themselves. Am I a narcissist? Of course not, because the narcissist will never question themselves. They will question the other person. So you are not a narcissist, because the narcissist would be saying, am I a narcissist? He would be saying, they must be a narcissist. And so who else do we have? We got Charlene Walker, who said, yes, I experienced, she said, the inflammation while still living with the narcissist husband. She said, I left a year ago and now down 25 pounds. She said, he is big mad and now divorcing me. She said, smear campaign. Yep. Pray for me, y'all. You know what happened? When the narcissist can't get their way, expect a smear campaign. They go, that's their next element. After they devalue you and you don't come around. See, devaluation is to break your system down, where you doubt yourself and you come pouring into the narcissist, running after the narcissist because it's trauma bond. It's like a kid that get abused by their parent. That child, even though they're abused, still love their parents because they have that connection to their parents, and they feel that they can't live without them because they're a child and all they know is their parent. And that's the way the narcissist wants his supply to be. And so the narcissist come down with devaluation, strip you of all confidence, strip you of all value, strip you of all worthiness, and then you feel unworthy. Now you start being clean. You start clinging to the narcissist. You start thinking they're your life. And many of you who went to church stopped going to church. Why? To please the narcissist. You went to the synagogue. You went to the temple. You went to wherever you went and you meditate. Now you don't even meditate. You just live with frustration because anything that gave you any peace, anything that gave you any value was under tremendous attack with the narcissist. And the narcissist that is experienced know, if I pound you and hound you enough and harass you enough, I'm going to turn you from looking at me to looking at you. And then when you start looking at you, the hippocampus started to shrink. Right? You got all this cortisol going in your body. All of your major organs are taking hits, and they are taking hits from an external relationship, an external relationship, and it's totally selfish. You were made to be loved, and without it, we start to cringe and crinkle up and dry up. We just can't make it. We were creatures made for love, and we look for it, and that's why the narcissists get you in trauma bonding to make sure that you hold on to them. And look at what Lisa said. She said, I am on Social Security disability since 2017. She said, he made me such a sick woman and didn't realize it. With him, she said, doing it to me, anxiety attack so bad. She said, I had to go to the emergency room. You know, I was just dealing with a young lady, and she was on Clubhouse, and the young lady said that when she left him, she smelled something in her body. And she said people would look at her and it smelled like a dead animal. And when she left the narcissist, she didn't realize that was happening with the narcissist, but she became more aware once the narcissist left. See, once the narcissist, you get away from the narcissist, you still have the brain fog, but it's starting to clear up and you're starting to reminisce. You're starting to see exactly what happened, because when you leave, the question you ask is, what happened? What was there? It's like the aftermath of a bomb going off in your life. You done spent there for 10 years, 15 years, and you're asking yourself, what happened? Where did all of my time go? You gave your best years. You've been there for 20 years, and you've been with them since you was a young woman. Now you're a much older woman. You have a family, or some of you that was there longer. Like I think we have Karen still on here. 33 years, and you're there for 33 years. Your kids are grown, and you are asking what happened. Because when you release a bomb, the greatest amount of work is when the aftermath, because everything around you is blown up, and because of the fallout from the bomb, you may have some wounds and some bruises and injury just from the bomb. And that's the way it is with the narcissist. Some of you that are still with the narcissist, you have yet to recover. You're not going to recover with the narcissist. You're going to sustain life with the narcissist. You're going to go into survival mode. When you're in survival mode, you're not thriving. You are just existing and keeping from going under the water. And what happened, as long as you with that narcissist, you are sustaining yourself. You are not thriving. You are not advancing. And then when you finally leave, you are free. You feel the freedom. Then you feel the anger. Then you start to question what happened. Then you start to turn into yourself. What was wrong with me? What was I thinking? Why didn't I see it? And then you start to get answers. You start to think all of these signs that was there. You were getting answers, but you were so trauma bonded, and you was trying to be loyal. Some of you for religious rights. You was trying to be loyal. Your mother and father were together, or some of you came out of narcissistic homes that made you adjust to a lifestyle like that, and that's what you knew, and that's what you adjusted to, and then you finally come to a point where a discard or a freedom raid, and you now are free because you just couldn't take anymore, and now you have the guilt of having left because the family stayed together, but here you are in a separate situation, and you're pending divorce, and your family may not believe in divorce. Your religion may not believe in divorce. Your different characteristics may not believe in divorce. It is the sanction of your life, but you know to live, you had to come from under that, where you have to consider all of those factors, and most of these factors are going to exist. Once you leave, the recovery can be a difficult process because of what we have to do. We have to go in your mind. We have to go in your situation. We have to visit past events that are very painful. We have to open up doors of your mind, of your heart, of your emotions that you've locked. And you said, nobody visit here. Nobody comes here. I don't ever want to come there again. And guess what? As a therapist, as a life coach, as a psychiatrist, psychologist, a counselor, guess what? We have to revisit the area of your pain to get down to the root of your pain so you can get true recovery. And if we give you true recovery, you will not get that frequency reconnected, because many of you have had many narcissistic relationships because you still got that frequency. You still going. That's why once you break up, it's not good to get involved in a relationship, because 9 times out of 10, you have attracted what you left. You need to go through a purging zone, recognition of who you are, the value of who you are, the excellence of who you are, the strength of who you are, before you encounter another intimate relationship. Keiko said, I was just watching Dr. Carmen's video about brain damage and thought narc abuse. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Danielle said, can you see my comment? Let me know. This is Karen. Danielle, if I'm going to depend on you to catch these different comments for me. And look at Puppet Toy. This is PHO, said, for them to use their insecurity, anger tip. It is not talk involved. She said, touchy unnecessarily. Oh, yeah, they are touchy feeling. See, narcissists want you to live out of your feelings, but guess what they live out of too? They live out of their emotion. The very thing they accuse you of is where they are. Except, remember, it's all your fault. It's never their fault. If you would just do what they say, then everything will work out all right. And the one thing about being with a narcissist is when the supply wake up and realize that this is their life. Do they want to continue this type life, or should there be change? change in their life, you have to make the decision. You have to come to grips with where you're located. Do you want another 20 years of this? And do you want to continue this? Because your best years are spent there, and your youthfulness every day goes. You're getting older if you're still with the narcissist, and each moment you spend with them, you are being further damaged. And remember, the medulla in the brain, it is your flight center. It is your protective center. And so what happened is, when you constantly got that cortisol going in your body, some of you got ailments that once you left the narcissist and you start going and the fog start clearing and you start healing, you got around healthy people, you got into healthy friendship and relationship, you got into a healthy environment, you noticed the migraine left, the fibromyalgia, it left. Then you went to the doctor, your liver started functioning better, your kidneys started functioning better, your mind was free from being a hostage, your mind broke free of a prison jail that you were held in psychologically and emotionally with the narcissist. Janet Floyd said, please, everyone, do not trust yourself to date. She said, and be vulnerable to another toxic person. Do your healing work. You know, Janet, I agree with you 100%. It's just like if you remember we used to have the tapes, and the tapes would have this scratchy noise in it, and you had to demagnetize that tape. And that's what you have to do. You have to demagnetize your life, because if not, you're going to draw the frequency of what you hate. You're going to draw the frequency of where you've been. You will revisit history over and over and over again, and you would keep making history over and over again. You have to allow yourself to heal, and you don't want loneliness. Many times you are thinking, I need a relationship, and all you need to do is to be made whole. Because when you are lonely, you have to ask yourself, what are you lonely for? You just came out of a brutal mental lashing and harassment, and now you are entering in, without being made whole, another relationship. And usually every time you encounter the narcissist, the last narcissist, this narcissist is greater than the last one. You keep going up the scale from a lower ranking narcissist to the mid narcissist to the greater narcissist. And when you encounter a greater narcissist, that is hell to pay, because those boys, those girls are calculated. They don't went through probably hundreds of relationships. I thought about Magic Johnson when he got AIDS. They was asking him how many relationships he had. He had hundreds of relationship, and he ended up with AIDS, and they got him medicine, and he was able to sustain by the grace of God. And that's the way some of you are, that you are dealing with all of the relationships that the narcissist has had. Their soul merged with the narcissist's soul, and he started reflecting their channel, and he turned to their frequency, and then this channel now is in your house, bellowing out a historical account of where he been, and you're looking at the narcissist saying, you've never done that, you never said that, you were never like that. Well, they were not, but you got to remember, they are perfect mirrors, they are perfect how can I say, imitators. And so they're animated in what they do. They're great imitators, the best that you've ever seen, and they can mimic anything that they touch. It reminds me of the movie Fallen. Remember Fallen? And when this demon would transfer, they touched that person and the demon would transfer. He used the port of touch to get in, and that demon that finally got in the cat, when he sat down and he touched the cat rubbed up against him, the demon was able to transfer. When the narcissists rub their thoughts, rub their life, rub their love bombing up against you, there is a transfer, and it's the transfer is illegitimate. It is now in your life, on your life, part of your life, and you have to deal with that. Catherine said, true imitators, absolutely. And then we have Danielle. What did she say? Oh, Raquel, thank you for joining us. Amen. I am glad to have you. And Janet said, once again, it is a nightmare of hell. Psycho, absolutely. And Lisa said, I survived. I'm a super empath. My mother was a narcissist and she abused me. She said, and I had to read her like a book. So I read people and he fooled me so bad. He was probably, if you're a super empath, he had to be a greater narcissist. She said, because I fell in love and let my guards down. Absolutely. He had to be a greater narcissist. And when you encounter a greater narcissist, they're very calculative, they're very intentional, they're very structured, they're very orderly. They usually have a whole entourage of people already lined up and loyal. These people are loyal to them. They have supply that would just blow your mind, and they usually have them in more than one place. They are internet experts. They are able to pull people into their web, even via internet. They're able to love bomb them, and it's almost like a witchcraft spell will go over them. So, being a super empath, he had to be a ultra narcissist, a master narcissist, and they are no joke. But neither is a super empath who's able to handle that narcissist. And any narcissist that dealt with a super empath, they're very careful with a super empath, unless, like she said, she let her guards down. And when she let her guards down, that he took over her and deceived her, because a super empath is really you don't want to play with them. They're very skilled. They're very experienced. They don't went through traumatic experiences. They've grown, and usually they've groomed. When you get a super empath, they groom other empaths. They groomed other people. They don't went through hell and back. And a super empath is like an eagle eye. They are able to recognize a narcissist. They can pick up the smell of a narcissist. But sometimes when you are in the realm of helping people, you can get caught up with helping other people until now you done got distracted and your sense of sensors are down. And so now, instead of the medulla working, you are so busy until your sensories have become insensitive and impervious to your environment. Because remember, super empath, they're able to go environmentally, pick up the emotion of the people and pick up their mind, because your mind, your thoughts can give out frequencies. And those empath is able to pick it up, and especially a super empath can lock it down, and they're able to separate background noise. They're able to separate background emotion. They don't absorb everything. They absorb what they choose. They choose what they absorb because they have grown up. So that is a huge thing. When you hear a super empath say, I let my guards down, that is just like going in the valley and seeing thousands of houses, and there's one house got hit of all things, and it was the house that was most protected. That's what happened, and that's what she's saying when she let her guards down. And once a super empath love, when a super empath fall in love, you can imagine the devotion period of an empath. But when you get a super empath that love, they love with everything in them. They love with their muscles, their tissue. They even love with their eyebrows. I mean, they love, and they are very intense. That's why when you cross them, it becomes dangerous to the narcissist. And you have to, and once the narcissist recognize there's a super empath, the narcissist hit him with a blow, and he hit him below the belt, because that narcissist know if that empath get up on their feet and they go supernova, that is an injury that may take them some time to recover, because there are some empaths that are able to put that narc out of commission for a while when they deal with a super empath. And it takes a lot for an empath. People who go supernova are not super empath, because to go supernova is to go super drain, and it takes time for you to get your energy back. And the only thing that I can explain this is there's a movie called Ghost, when they will go in and out of bodies, and Whoopi Goldberg would go into necromancy, and when these demons would enter her body, she would get so weak until it took her time, and she had helpers around her to rebuild. That's the super empath. When you go supernova, it's going to take time. It ain't no super empath jumps up, go supernova. No, baby. It takes time. Some super impact have almost lost their mind going supernova because then once they did, the narc came in with everything they had and hit them before they can get up on their feet. They went supernova, the narcissist got away, but the narcissist made sure that just before they recovered, he came back in and hit them below the belt, and it almost took them out. So you have to be very, very careful. Haka said, the new narc was telling me to watch Fallen. Oh, yeah, because that's a transfer. And Lisa said, he almost killed me. Now he's suffering. He is falling apart. Yeah, and it's probably because his supply is low. And usually the older narcissists suffer like this because they want young supply. They're not as built as they were. And so they almost go into a form of witchcraft where they have to mesmerize the target. And it's not their love making because many of them have sexual issues with impotence because they done got older, or they may be on medication unless they're somatic, and they build their bodies, build their bodies, build their bodies, but they still don't have the same stamina as they had when they were younger. And so when the narcissist start to get old and the supply that he want is younger so he can get the strength, but it's not as easy, you're going to find them deteriorating. A deteriorating narc is a hateful narcissist, and I mean tormentous narcissist. And the older they get, the worse they get, and they become angrier because they cannot do what they used to do. So they're really taking their anger out on you, but they're really angry at themselves. uh we have Lisa. She said, crazy, I survived him, Helen. She said, I couldn't believe, she said, that I left and survived. He destroyed other women since, she said, but he couldn't destroy my life, Helen. And you know what? The grace of God will always strengthen us. And just when the enemy comes in with an uppercut, God comes in with a blow. David said, this poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and delivered him out of all his trouble. There is a cry that comes from the pit of our souls when we get in devastation, when we say, God, if you don't help me, I'm gone, I'm losing my mind. God, you got to help me. And God comes in and help you, and he said, you will not lose your mind. You're going to keep your mind. You're going to keep your strength. Your body done went through hell. Your brain done went through hell. Your life done went through hell. Your children done went through hell. But I am here for you. And many of you have sustained some long-term damage that now your healing has come. You have found a right therapist. You have found these videos. You're getting up on your feet. You're understanding what the narcissist is, what that narcissist does, and what his intentions are. And you are finding yourself that every day has become a day of salve, a rubbing salve for your heart, for your emotions, and it's one day at a time. And don't feel bad when you don't want to be bothered with a lot of people. When you doing emotional healing, usually you want to be alone to do this because you're still crying, you're still weeping, and when you think how many years you've given your life, and then you see the effects of the children, you see the effects of the grandchildren, it can be quite devastating. Catherine Decker said, Jesus, our Messiah, saves us. Oh, yes, he does. Every single day. And Love and Peace said, 3 years trying to divorce the demon, but dragging it out and maintaining some control. Yeah, the reason he's dragging it out, he wants you to be spent. He wants you to spend all your money. That's why they do that. Narcissists take you to court and they want you to financially drain you. Then they go in for the juggler because you don't have any money. And once the money is gone, they use their flying monkeys to help them financially, to help them with the lawyer. And then they go in for your juggler. And they say all of these things why you can't even fight them because you don't have any more money. And you have to negotiate the terms with your lawyer, which is not going to be happy because he wants to get paid for his service. Or she wants to get paid. Lisa said, destroyed me. You know what, Lisa? He tried to destroy you. She said, he almost distorted me. I moved an hour away. She said, just to divorce, just to get the divorce. She said, and to heal, and I'm still healing. God is wonderful. She said he destroyed her. He didn't destroy you. He tried to destroy you. If he destroyed you, there would be no way that you would be on this site. When you are so wounded that you are at the point of death, you usually isolate. You don't want to be around anybody. You don't want to talk to anybody. And you don't even care about healing. You care about healing. You're on this port. And I'm telling you, you're a fighter. You are a survivor. And God is sustaining you. You will get up again. And I mean, every pain you have, you will heal. And you're going to turn that pain into someone else's healing salve. Everything you went through is a master class, and God is going to allow students to be taught by your experience. Christina said, she said, yes, that's me. I just wanted to be alone. Couldn't handle anyone's energy or regular life control. She said, I only want to talk to victims. She said, I'm trying to save my life and stay stable. I can't deal with the trivial combos. Absolutely. And see, you got to be careful right now because he's on your trail with a Hoover. And usually if they see any weakness, if they smell any weakness, they rev up the Hoover and they try to pull you in. You got to stay no contact. There's no children, there's no reason, there's no property, no business. Then there's no reason to even talk to them. There's no reason to email them. Everything about them, erase it, dismiss it, and move on, because as it stands, you already got to go through tremendous recovery. And based on the length of your relationship with the narcissist, you still trying to get them out of your mind 3 years later, 4 years later. When you've been with them, the longer you've been with them, the more indentation into your soul they have made. And it takes time to get that out. And sometimes it takes time even to let the anger go. So, Haka said, Christina, yeah, I don't know why I can't just say no and stay away from her. Okay. Well, if they're damaging, you better learn to say no because that can be too costly. Lisa said, I love you, Helen. Thank you so much. You have helped me to understand that I was a super empath. Oh, yeah. You're very dangerous on your feet. You're very dangerous, period. But you have to keep your guards up because you are the desire of most ultra narcissists. They want a super empath because if an ultra narcissist can break down a super empath, do you know what they have? The kind of fuel that you can give them, the kind of devotion that you can give them, the kind of influence. Mother Teresa was a super empath. Mother Teresa influenced a world through her caring, through her love, and she took the burdens on many nations. and she fed many nations. Can you imagine the power of an empath? And that narcissist recognize the power of the empath, the ability of the empath, how far they can go, the influence of the empath, because the empath is a super achiever. They're aggressive when it comes to helping other people. They feel deeply, they know deeply, their intellectual stamina is out of this world. They done been through pain, so they are survivor. These super empaths are bulldogs on the loose. They are your howling wolves that will howl in the night, and they will be fearless when it comes to protecting someone. And the narcissist goes under the protection of that super empath, and that super empath become their bodyguard, their protection. The ultra narcissist knows the power of the super empath. And let's read some more. Janet said, once you see the pattern and accept it, if you're not shocked, hurt as much, knowing what to expect, it becomes every day. Tricia said, I just had a Hoover outside my house. The narcissist was just doing donuts in front of my house, and it's midnight. Oh, Lord. Stay away, stay away. Go to the mirror, talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. You tell that girl, no, no, no. You will not go back to hell where you've been. You done been away from hell. You no longer have the smoke and the singe of hell on you, and you do not want to go back to hell. When you are free, whom the Son make free is free indeed. Breathe. Enjoy the clean air. Get away from the polluted air. Get away from it. Stay free. Stay where you can strengthen yourself. Stay where you can build your emotions. Everything that was torn down by the narcissist, you are going to rebuild. And sometimes that takes time based on the time you have spent with the narcissist. Haka said, Christina, I've noticed my mom forgets things a lot as well, but really she's only called me to try to use me or dump it on me. Yes, she remembers things I did when I was 14. Sometimes when people are losing their mind and dementia, they remember the younger years, but their short-term memory has been seriously damaged. That's why they can't remember the family members of today, but they remember the family members of yesterday. Kaka, you have to protect yourself. You have to get out of your emotions. You are in your emotions and you need to be in your wisdom. There's a lot of damage that was done to your emotions already. And obviously you sustained some brain injury that if you went to the doctor, it would probably come up, that the damage that was done. But when you get used to abuse, you subject yourself to abuse. Now you got to add value to yourself, because when you add value to yourself, you're going to refuse to allow people to walk all over you. You just won't do it. But what you got to do, you got to raise the value on yourself so you can be valuable to others. Because if you don't raise it on yourself, you're going to minimize yourself to others, and everybody you meet is going to do that minimizing of your life, and you'll get tired until you put your foot down. You got to go NC. If there's no reason for you not to go NC, you have to go NC to protect your mind and to protect your emotions. And we have Monica. Monica said, hey, Helen, I wanted to tell you I played my hand right on to get myself home to my parents from Israel. She said, and I've been through, he's hoovering every day. She said, I'm trying to judge my next move to real life. Stay away, stay away. No matter how he hoovers, no matter how he comes, the answer is no. And one thing about no, it's not hard to spell. It's not hard to see. It's two letters, and it's N-O. Put those together, and keep them together, and you will keep safe. The more you use no, and the more you put no together, and the more you know the power of no, you are actually protecting yourself. But if you do not, to go back to a narcissist, you will be punished. They're going to punish you for leaving, and they're going to punish you for coming back. So you don't win anyway, but it's going to be worse than it ever was. And that's why everybody tell you, don't yield to a Hoover, because a Hoover is more devastating. It's a trickery into greater punishment. Grandma JJ said, how come the same happened to me? My knock brother was paid to move her because he is the golden child. Yeah. Um, and then Lisa said, that's what I did. I isolated. And yes, God directed me to you, and I am getting stronger. It takes time. She said, he amazed that I survived. But I told him it was God that helped me. Oh yeah, because their intention was to break you, and you didn't break. Instead of you, you built. You got stronger. You were able to swim in the waters of the alligators and the crocodile, and he's still trying to figure out how you got over. I thought about Aretha Franklin. She used to sing a song, my soul look back and wonder how I got over. Well, my soul don't look back and wonder. My heart know how we did it. We did it by the grace and the wisdom and the strategy of God. Because anytime freedom from a narcissist happen, you need to be absolutely grateful, especially those of you that have malignant narcissists, psychopathic narcissists, and sociopath narcissists, because of narcissists that can, even a covert and somatic narcissists, even lesser narcissists, which is usually the covert narcissists, because you have some narcissists that is appealing to people who are sick, people who are weak, people who are ill. If you have a disability, there are certain narcissists, the altruistic narcissists, that look specifically for you. They hate healthy people. They only like sick people. And when they get a healthy supply, they almost kill them so they can take care of them and they can get praised. Um, let's see what we have here. Christina said, welcome to my club. This is your scapegoat club. Pass. Lots of love. Your mother is just the first enemy unknowingly. It's like you were born in a war and you have no idea that you were in warfare. Mm, I want us to encourage each other, but I don't want you to analyze. I don't want you to psychoanalyze. I want us to help each other, but I want you to leave the therapeutic part to the therapist. I want you to leave the how can I say, the life coach part to the coach. Every word you say leaves with them when they leave off this platform. Remember that. Every word we say to each other, leave. And we want to leave knowing that we've guided them. And see, Haka, what you have to do is, I would love to talk to you, but you'll have to call me. There has to be something you have to do. Because Haka, there is a direction in which you can go for healing, and there is a curve that keep you from going there, and you will always meet your hurt. You will always meet your pain until you give value to yourself. You have to give enough value to yourself. um Deborah, she said, you got the dynamic duo, Narc Slade. Scroll up for the question by, is Laveda Clark. Laveda Clark, scroll up. Patricia Lynn says, amen. Okay, y'all, I'm just going to talk to y'all because y'all talking to each other and y'all talking beyond me. And so y'all just encouraging one another. So I just let you encourage one another and be a blessing to one another. And those who listen to me, listen to me. And those who got the answers for the people in their mouth other than what I have, then you just receive that answer and be blessed. I don't see her. Um, Narrator. I don't see her. You told me to scroll up for Laveda. I don't see Laveda's question. So if you can get it, you can repeat it. How said, Dr. Sally, I would love to talk. I want you to call me. Because we've been together for months and I'm hearing a certain tone with you that I don't like because you are really open for a Hoover. You are really open for a Hoover. And you are really open. It seemed like you are strong and you're able to go, but that frequency, they can pick up on these are hound dogs. When you have a hound dog, a hunting dog, and their ears are dragging the ground, that ears is for that reason their ears is long. They drag the ground for frequency, and they are able to pick up those track. These are trackers. These are trackers, and your emotional frequency has to be stable. Even if you broken inside, what you put out cannot have a voice to it, a sound to it, a frequency. And so that's why we teach gray rock. You have to learn how to gray rock. And gray rock is not as easy as people think. That's why when the supply, when the supply has had enough, I recommend that for everyone because there come a point where that may be you, period. Discarded and even free. Sometime when you are free and you keep going through these challenges or ruminating and you're going through these challenges where you just, it's awkward and it just seems like you are still in the relationship. You come to a point where you say, I'm done with this. I'm done with going through hell. I haven't seen them in 3 years and I'm still tormented. No. I'm done with this. My life is free. They're not there. I don't want them anymore. I don't want to talk to them anymore. No matter how he hoover, I'm not going back, Jack. I'm not going back to hell with you because you desire me too. I'm not going back to do this relationship, even if the sex was brilliant. And even if you took care of me, but what you took me through, yeah, you gave me money, but the debris, the fallout from what I went through that almost broke me into half, that almost split my mind into a realm of dissociation. No, we're not coming back. And you have to be that adamant as the supply. And I'm expecting that if you've been away from them for 2 years or more. You got this kind of strength. You have this kind of stamina. Now, if you just leaving them, you're not going to have this. And you shouldn't be so hard on yourself because you got to go through a process. You're going to want them. Your body's going to want them. Your mind is going to want them because you are trained to do it. Because it's an addiction. These people are like drugs. And so when you are a drug addict, you crave that drug. You don't care if it's your mama's money in her purse. You still a person of money. You get the drug. And that's the way it is with a narcissist. You have to begin to allow yourself to heal. And when you heal, you start to repulse their presence. Then Hoovers don't work. They can show up and you could have been so much in love with them till you worship the ground. Once you heal, it ain't no worship. They can show up all they want to. They can show up naked and you will walk right past them. That's how much recovery you have to have because you can't go back. Going back is damage. Going back is suicide. You cannot go back to a narcissist once you've been discarded and once you have left to freedom. Don't go back. Erase the trail. Tear up the map. Get rid of the freeway. Get rid of the directions. You don't want to go back and traumatize your mind, your organs, your body, your children, your life, your dreams, your goals. You don't want to do that. Haka said everyone is saying they would have been over it because of everything he did to me. But being with him showed me everyone else who was abusing me that I didn't recognize. Yeah, and that's a frequency. And see, you were prone to it, Haka, because you came out of your mother's house. You came out of your mother's house being abused. So you came out with the frequency. You came out with a beacon and it say, here I am. We got to get rid of that sound. We got to get rid of that frequency. We got to get rid of the tone. We got to turn that radio signal off that calls narcs to your life, that calls strife to your life, because it's meant to break your life and to break you down. And that's not going to happen. You are free, and it doesn't matter. The church folk, you need another church. You need to just go no contact. And you need to get into a good support group that is going to strengthen you, like online. It's going to strengthen you, that is going to build you, that is going to encourage you. Yeah? All righty. Charlene said, do you have a video that help us recognize the signs of narcissists when you are meeting new people? Absolutely. I have the trace of a narcissist. I have that all nine traits and what they do. I have a video of the different classes of narcissists, the different schools of narcissists. I have almost 300 videos that are online. So I have videos on the children, sex, the video, you name it, we have videos. It just sometimes it may be tedious going through them. Okay. And Tricia said, I know exactly what you mean, Haka. And cluster free, Karen said, I would never go back. She said, in a bitter fog and can feel the brain damage. She said, but the Bible study, prayer, and getting outdoors now, no longer self-isolating. Good girl. Proud of you over that. But I thought about what Christina said too. It's like being in a war zone. It's like bombs are unloading in your mind and in the field of where you stand. I mean, just bombs dropping, and they're dropping every day. They're dropping every day. 10 years, 15 years. What would make us stay there? It's almost like being under this hypnotic effect, because every year you're being abused. Every day you're being abused. And so now when we add value to ourselves, then the value that we add to ourselves is what we would demand from others. Okay, Charlene said, she said, look for Dr. Carmen talking about red flags, and it will identify narcs. Absolutely, Keiko. Dr. Brian has videos, but I also have videos. So you can look either one. You can look through my videos, and she's my daughter. So she is good. So you can look through my videos. I have those videos, and she has those videos. So they are available on both sides. Then, yes, I know. How do I deal with a manager that's a narcissist? She said, went out of his way to get a form I sent to another manager with my social security number on it, and just see it for himself, and had the nerve to tell. I would be very cautious of that, especially a narcissist. Why would they even be interested in your social security number, especially a narcissist that is self-interest? When you are dealing with a narcissist in the workplace, they are there for promotion only. They will step on anybody, anywhere, anytime, at any place to get promoted. And they are brown nosing, and so they're looking for an opportunity to use smearing you to get a promotion, to get brownie points with the boss. I would definitely watch them. I will not put anything in their hands that does not belong in their hands. I will not leave anything out that they can have access to. I would make sure everything that's locked up. I would get files with locks on them. I would make sure they do not have access to any document. I would never be careless. I would be detailed and very structured, because usually when you get a narcissist in the workplace, they're very detailed, they're very structured, and they're very oriented into what they want. And so and it's almost like they stalk you in the workplace. They watch everything you do, everywhere you go. And if you are an overachiever, that is a threat to them, because that means that success for you, and the more successful you are, the less successful they are going to feel. So I would be very detailed in places like that. Cluster B said, Dr. Carmen Bryan sent me to Apostle Sadler. She said, the best thing that happened to me, talking to Apostle Sadler, started serious healing for me. Thank you. Hakar said, Janet, she said, yep, I've been getting and had advice from family, so-called friends. She said, the only thing that really helped me are the streams and talking to people who know what it feels like. You know what? That's why live is so. Christina said, yes, it does take a lot to retrain your brain. It really does. And she said, learn how new things. It's not like it's one thing like a skill, but you are retraining your mindset, your life. And indeed, the battle is real. I couldn't have said that better. Absolutely. Every single day, every single day. That's why. And once you've been through relationship, you have to watch the kind of people that you bring in your life. You may not can bring everybody to handle the kind of pressures that you went through. Some people, they just can't handle your battle. It would break them down to handle what you went through. Their mind can't even fathom what you went through, and all they would be is a frustration to your healing and your frustration to your recovery. Because like Christina was saying, most people don't even believe that you can even go through something like that, and they think it's a lie. They don't think that people exist that live to harm you, that live to hurt you, and then they will sleep with you at night, but they live every single day, as many of us already know. Kimberly says, you are telling the truth about the workplace and narcissistic. She said, everything you do is under a microscope. Absolutely. When a person wants your position, they have to know your position. They have to know what you're doing, because if it look like you're getting promoted, they need, and remember that they're the perfect mimicker. They mimic everything you do. They mimic it, and they are good and mimic because they mirror you. That's how the narcissist got us. Remember, they love bomb you, reflected back to you, and you thought it was the narcissist, but really you were in love with yourself. They channel all of your energy, your good positive characteristic, and float it back to you. And because you're a person that can love and enjoy love, you just love that narcissist, and really you just loving yourself. Desire said, my ex tried to contact me through a third party. My response, I don't want to hear his name. Thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, you say, how can I tell when I've moved on? When the more resistance you put up against the narcissist, is the flavor and the historical account that lets you know that I don't want to go back to the past. I'm going forward now, because resistance is your cue that you're ready to move on. And when you're struggling in your resistance, then you're struggling in moving on. Christina said, yes, Apostle, you see the world differently. People do frustrate me completely. She said, they do not know this type of evil to be real. She said, thank you for saying that. Validation. I feel like I am speaking foreign. You are not, honey. You are speaking the language of truth. You are speaking the truth. And I love the way you frame these words, because the way you put it, you get into the heart. You're right in the meat of the mind of the way they're thinking. The supply is thinking, I'm in a struggle, and I feel like I'm in a war zone, and it's a constant battle. He's not here. He's been gone for 6 months, like Hakka said. He's been gone for 6 months. Why am I still dealing with this? But see, even if you weren't dealing with a Hakka with the narcissist, you still dealing with it with your mom. Janice said, Laveda, get a new job. No, she said, it's not worth the stress. It's not, and you know what? As long as that narcissist is there, they're going to pursue your downfall. But I'm telling you, God got a way of doing things. that is amazing, and only he can do it like that. Uh, Lavada said, Daniel, yes, thank you. Some managers call almost every day trying to be friendly like they aren't sneaky and work from home, causing a pandemic. She said, I don't want to answer his phone. Yeah. That's why details are very important when you're dealing with them. You got to be detailed. You got to stay on your toes. The narcissist is on their toes. The narcissists don't need sleep. When they are creating havoc, they go to bed and sleep well. The only time they don't sleep well is when there's no fuel, there's no energy, there's no supply. Then they're up and they can't sleep. Haka said, yep, and my church too. My mom and everyone there keeps trying to convince me not to leave, calling me weak for leaving, and I'm getting abused and I'm not getting abused anymore. Baby girl, you don't stay in a place like that. That's God's house, but you can't see God. You can't experience God. We're hateful people and narcissistic people. You don't even belong there. What reprieve do you have? You go from going through with your mother, you go from having to come out of a relationship with a narcissist, then you go into a church and get pounded, and there's no relief. God said, in the peace of God that surpasses all understanding shall keep your heart and mind. You shall have a place of peace, especially in this house. And when the people of God that they say they are of God, the Bible said that the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. When you don't experience love and there's no love there, you have to challenge that of fact. Does God live there? If God is love, Haka, you may need to reconsider your location. uh Kiko say, yes, Haka, I hope you find a new church. Yeah, me too, because that's senseless for you to be tormented like that. Kimberly said, you are accused of church hopping. You just want peace and truly be loved. We don't care about what people say. You don't care about what people say because people not in your house. They weren't in your house when you cried. They weren't in your house when you wanted to pull your hair out. They weren't in your house when your heart was beating 3 times as fast as it should be beating. They wasn't in your house when you didn't know whether to freeze, flight, or fight. You didn't know. So they wasn't in your house when that happened. They wasn't in your house when you don't know whether you was coming or going. You didn't know what to do with the kids. You didn't know when he or how he was going to come in or how she was going to come in. They don't know that. So forget what people think. If they call you church hopping, you just hop yourself to peace. That's what you do. Let them say what they want to say, because people are going to talk anyway. You just let them talk while you just hop yourself to peace, and you can go to a church where you are not being hanging on the cross like Jesus. He did it, but that wasn't enough. They want you to hang there, so you get peace in the place of worship. Haka said, yeah, it's hard to focus on God or any blessing being brought from where there's a bunch of slandering and gossiping and meddling folk. That's why you need to find a place where that's not. And even if it is, it's out away from you. uh, Lisa Crispell say, I really believe they are Satan's demons. And how can someone treat someone with such abuse, mental, emotionally, and physically? It doesn't bother them. It doesn't bother them at all. And Brenda Melrose say, I had a boss that spied on us. I said, Lord, either she's got to go or gotta leave. She said, boom, she was gone on leave and never came back. The effectual fervent prayer of the righteous man availeth much. Lisa, I give you a high five in the spirit realm. That's what I'm talking about. See, when the righteous cry, the Lord hear it. That is a manifestation of that scripture. Boy, I know Levada wish she could get that done. Trisha said, I told the narcissist years ago the difference between you and me is you care what people think. They do and they don't. Yeah, because the narcissists, they are image driven. Absolutely. Uh, okay, Danielle. Let me see how much time do we have here. And this is her car. She said this has been going on for years. For for some reason, all they can seem to is focus on me, the narc, and my family. It may be an assignment. You all may be an assignment. It's like Rosemary Baby. They was only interested in Rosemary's Baby. So Rosemary's was their assignment. Sometimes the focus begin to tell you the interest. You are the interest. And it ain't that you are the interest, it's why. I would be leery of that. I think I would pick my stuff. Don't be afraid to leave her car. Don't be afraid to go to another church. Forget about what people say. Save yourself. Christina said, my next fear is dealing with the narc in the work environment. It's like, how do you deal with that when you can't just leave the job? I really commend people who survived it. It's very difficult to work with a narc when you know that that's your job and that's paying your bills. You're going to have to do something with your mind. You got to take your mind to a place where you can build it. You got to set up a defense system around your mind. How can you do that? What do your mind need? What do your soul need? You got to detach emotionally. You got to deal with the intellectual side. You got to deal with the passion side. You got to deal with the desire side. And you got to deal with your will. I'm not going to let you break my will. Just because you feel like you can, I'm not going to let you break me. I'm not going to let you franchise me in being in this place that take care of my bills. You didn't quit. You still here paying your bills, so why can't I be here to pay my bills? No, you want me to quit and struggle while you are still here. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Miss Chatted, she says yes. So I don't know what she's saying yes for. Then yeah, I don't know what that was, but I trust your yes. Desire says, since dealing with the ex-narc, I now know how to walk away when I sniff a narc. Absolutely. Good girl. And Trisha said, the narc on my job just stay out of my way, and I gray rock very well. Ooh, boy, you done sent a message to them. Raquel said, Kimberly Stewart, Nephilim, demons. Oh, yeah. She said, they are the host of the Nephilim spirit. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I tell you what, it has been awesome being with you all every week. It just get it better and better and better and better and better. And like the kids say, goodier and goodier and goodier. We enjoy being on here. She said, thank you, Dr. Sadler. Appreciate you so much. So do I email you so that we can talk? Absolutely. Destiny Helper 12s at gmail.com. Destiny Helper 12s at gmail.com. Uh, and Levada said, how do we gray rock? You have to go numb. You have to go numb. It's when you don't feel. It's that when you refuse to show any emotions. And the narcissist cannot handle that. They can't handle no emotions because it's fuel. And they can't get fueled, they get up. So if you're not fueling the narcissist, expect for them to leave. Haka says, okay, thank you, Haka. All right, fam. You are so welcome, Keiko. I enjoy talking to you, and I'm asking, oh, you so beautiful. Thank you so much, Pam. She said, this is my first time chatting. She said, and I appreciate you. And blessing and peace till the next time. Charlene, I hope to see you on the next time. Those of you who have not subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you get off, go and subscribe and make sure you push the bell. And every time I come on, we'll upload new content. So those of you who have not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And every time I upload new content, you'll be the first one to know. Go back and listen to the video that I did for this morning on the same subject. Go and listen to it, please. And remember, my daughter, Dr. Carmen Bryan, is having a conference at the end of July, July 31st. And she's having it Zoom. And those of you who want to physically be there, you can get a plane ticket and go see her. She even have VIP where you can travel with Dr. Carmen Bryan. Dr. B, she's going to be in a limousine, and they're going to this beautiful restaurant, and she have the VIP prices. If you want to spend time with Dr. Bryan, find out the VIP prices, write her on overcoming narcissist abuse. You can go on her YouTube and get all the information and go to the community tab. All the information is there, and it's going to be a blast. This is going to be a good conference, and I know you're not going to regret coming. She said they have no empathy, conscience, or remorse. She said they cannot think rightly like we do. Absolutely, Janice. Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Dana. This is from Charlene. All right. Well, my love to all of you, and I look forward to doing the next video. And so as we do the next video, God bless you. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share the page. Good night, everyone, and God bless you.